Welcome to the Wild Planet HD channel. Today's episode is about the incredible world of aquatic plants. So let's dive right in, shall we? We're talking about a hidden world that's so often overlooked, but it is absolutely essential for life on our planet. I mean, these are the silent green engines running just beneath the surface, the true architects of entire ecosystems. All right, so to really get to know these unsung heroes, here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at their ingenious design, their incredible diversity, the crucial role they play, and then the very real dangers they're facing right now. First up, underwater architects of life. So what are aquatic plants, really? And where did they even come from? Well, their story is an ancient one, and it's written deep in the fossil record. Okay, so simply put, aquatic plants, or hydrophytes if you want to get technical, are plants that have adapted to live in water. But here's the crazy part. It wasn't a one-time thing. Nope, life figured out how to make this jump at least 50 different times across different plant families. We have the fossil evidence to prove it, like the 125-million-year-old Archifructus, which shows just how deep their aquatic roots, literally, go. So, next section, how are they built for this watery world? I mean, how do they survive in an environment that would kill most land plants? Well, it turns out they had to completely throw out the rule book and write a new one just for life underwater. The key thing to understand is that they evolved a totally different toolkit than their cousins on land. You know, land plants need these super rigid stems to fight gravity, right? But aquatic plants, they just use the water's buoyancy for support so they can be flexible. Land plants need extensive roots to hunt for water. But for aquatic plants, they're literally swimming in it. Different problem, different solution. Okay, and one of their biggest secrets is this amazing stuff called parenchyma. The best way to think about it is like a built-in life preserver. It's this spongy tissue just filled with these large air channels. This does two things. It helps the plant float, obviously, but it also acts like a set of internal snorkels, moving essential gases like oxygen all around the plant. And the clever adaptations just keep coming. For example, many of them have these really fine, feathery leaves. That's to reduce drag from water currents so they don't get ripped apart. And their floating leaves? Genius. They have their breathing pores, the stomata, only on the top surface, the part that's exposed to the air. And some can even pull the CO2 they need directly from bicarbonate in the water. It's a completely different way of breathing. So all these adaptations lead to this, a world of incredible diversity. You see, aquatic plants aren't just one big green blob. They have really distinct lifestyles, almost like different characters in a play. First up, we've got the emergent plants. Just think of reeds and cattails. Their roots are down in the mud, but their stems and leaves shoot right above the water surface. They're basically living in two worlds at the same time. Then you have the floating-leaved plants. You know these ones. They're what give ponds and lakes that classic, picture-perfect look. The water lily is the star here, of course. It's rooted way down in the substrate, but it sends these long stems up so its leaves and flowers can float right on the surface. After that, we've got the submerged plants. These guys, like water milfoils, live their entire lives completely underwater. They're the true hidden forests of our waterways, creating these intricate habitats that most of us never even see. And finally, we have the free floaters. I like to think of them as the nomads of the plant world. Things like duckweed and water hyacinth. They're not attached to anything at all. They just drift freely on the surface, going wherever the wind and currents decide to take them. So, here's a quick look at how these four types stack up. It really just boils down to two questions. Are they rooted in the ground? And where are their leaves located in relation to the water? Above it, on it, or completely under it? Each strategy is a totally unique and brilliant solution for surviving in the water. All right, so now that we've met the whole cast of characters, you might be asking, so what? Why does any of this matter? Well, it matters a huge amount, because these plants are, without a doubt, the guardians of our waterways.
These plants are the absolute foundation of any healthy aquatic ecosystem. And they're not just doing one job, they're multitasking like crazy. They provide food and shelter, they pump out oxygen through photosynthesis, they act as incredible natural filters, soaking up excess nutrients, they trap pollutants and sediment, literally cleaning the water. And on top of all that, their roots stabilize the soil and prevent erosion. Wow.
And if you want a really mind-blowing example of how important they are for habitat, just look at this number. We're talking about the Bolivian water lily. Its leaves can grow up to 3.2 meters in diameter. That's not just a leaf. That's an entire floating island, a massive living shelter for all kinds of aquatic life.
But if these underwater architects are so incredibly important, what's putting them at risk? Because, unfortunately, these vital ecosystems are under a ton of pressure, and it's coming from all sides. The first major threat: invasive species. You get a non-native plant in there, like a water hyacinth, and they can just explode. They spread aggressively, forming these thick mats that literally choke out the native plants below and completely upend the entire ecosystem. Then there's pollution. Runoff from farms and cities dumps a ton of extra nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus, into the water. Now, you'd think that's good for plants, right? Wrong. It fuels these massive algal blooms that turn the water into a thick green soup. They block all the sunlight, and when they die and decompose, they suck all the oxygen out of the water, creating what are known as dead zones. And finally, there's climate change. As water temperatures rise, it puts a lot of stress on the native plants. And guess who loves warmer water? You got it, a lot of those aggressive invasive species. It helps them expand their range, disrupting natural cycles that have been in place for thousands of years. So, all of this leaves us with a really critical question. We've established that these plants are the guardians of our waterways, right? They work tirelessly, filtering our water and supporting so much life. But with all these pressures mounting against them, who's going to guard the guardians? Our episode has ended. Thank you for watching, and see you with another video.